Okay. This is Sarah Meixel with the Pig Site, and today we're online with Dr. Micah Jansen. She is a managing technical services veterinarian with the Zoetis U.S. pork team. Micah has worked with Zoetis for 8 years, focusing on customer challenges and solutions. Thanks for being with us today, Micah.
Thanks for having me.
Zoetis has launched their Heritage Feeds Tomorrow campaign, and you're being spotlighted. Let's talk a little bit about the heritage of your family in the swine industry, as well as your background directly as well.
Yeah, so my background would be that I grew up on a grain farm in East Central Illinois. So my dad's side of the family got out of livestock many years ago. My dad never looked back, I don't think. But my mom's side of the family has always raised cattle and pigs. And so when it comes to pigs, especially, I spent a lot of time around them as a kid, and over time just continued to develop an interest more and more in pigs.
Very good. And tell me a little bit about your childhood kind of growing up. You've been involved in agriculture, right?
Yeah, so I've been involved in agriculture my entire life. And, some of that stems just from growing up on a farm. I did also participate and was very active with FFA when I was in high school. And then as I moved on to undergrad, I went to the University of Illinois and, continued to be a part of the agriculture family that is the College of Aces there in Urbana-Champaign. So I have just always had a passion for agriculture and specifically food animal agriculture. When I was in undergrad, my uncle, who, as I mentioned, raises pigs and cattle, and he had reached out to the veterinarian that he was working with at that time and said, "Hey, I've got a niece. She is in animal science. She's really interested in becoming a veterinarian. Can she come spend some time with you?" And essentially what that did is it morphed into an experience that I continued to pursue the entire time I was in undergrad. I spent summers there. I went there, and she actually was practicing out of the veterinary teaching hospital in the ambulatory department. And so I got experience working with the university swine farms. I got to be around show pigs, which is really the focus that my uncle and my grandpa and now my cousin have always had with pigs, is really focused on show pigs. But so got to work with a variety of different types of pigs in that experience. And it was during that I really started focusing my interest more and more on livestock and specifically on pigs.
As a veterinarian, Micah, how has the industry influenced your life and kind of your career path?
Growing up, I always wanted to be a veterinarian, and that was really born from the passion that I've had about animals from a very young age. And what's great about specifically being a swine veterinarian is I get to really work within both of those passions that I have, the agricultural industry as well as working with animals. And I'm a people person too. And so, really that's the other great part of the swine industry and agriculture in general is being able to work with the individuals that are involved, whether it's, somebody that's an owner and makes a lot of decisions and is higher up within the system, or if it's the caregiver that's out there taking care of pigs every day. And so I really just, for me, it's very rewarding from a personal standpoint to get to work with people, work with pigs, work with animals, and also be working within agriculture and producing food for the world.
Micah, what does Heritage Feeds Tomorrow mean to you?
To me, Heritage Feeds Tomorrow really has two different components. And the obvious one is the concept that families that are involved in pork production, in agriculture, are really building their future generations up. And also that, where we've come from in the past is what has shaped us and our industry into what we are and what it is today. But I really think even it goes a step further than that. And so it's not just the family part of it, but it's even just the industry. I mean, we're a small industry, and we really all are a family, whether it's, within the swine vet world and even just within pork producers. We are all a family. We're all working towards very similar goals. Many of us might come from different backgrounds, but at the same time, we also have a lot in common. I mean, how many other industries would it be normal to talk about, showering into a farm and maybe wearing somebody else's underwear? That's something that only the people that are your family within the pork industry completely understand. And so I really think that that's the other part of it is that, the things that we're doing today, the efforts we're making, the things that we accomplish today, that is going to go on and affect the industry down the road. And so I think that's the other thing is it's the family that we grew up with, but it's also the family as an industry and how are we going to impact pork production not only today, but how we raise pigs 5 years, 10 years, 100 years from now.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Micah.
Thank you.
This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site.